Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moon Mage. This is weekly tarot messages. Pick a message 1 through 4 using your own intuition without overthinking it to see what types of energies, potential challenges, along with some guidance and advice could be coming your way in the week ahead. I always tell everybody that when you land on these messages was when you were meant to hear them. So don't let yourself get too caught up in the dates that they come with. They are timeless in that aspect. So give yourself a second to feel into messages 1 through 4 without overthinking it too much. And I will get started here with message number 1. Hello to all my lovely message 1 choosers. Let's have a look and see what kind of energies are showing up for my beautiful message 1s this week. What do they need to know? What's coming their way? Six of Swords. Okay, so we're moving on from something. We're either being given the heads up from the universe and spirit saying it's time to move forward on something, let something go, release, move forward, or that it's actually going to happen for you. And Swords is connected to mental energy. So if you've been really stuck in your mind as of late, maybe in worry, thought, overthinking, there's an opportunity to release yourself from this week, but we'll see what else comes out with that. All right. It could be too like a bit of a heads up that you're almost there. You're almost to the other side of difficulty that you might have been dealing with. But it's generally, because it's swords energy and air energy, it's generally a heads up that we can free our minds in some way. All right. Self-care, attend to your garden. Yeah. It's feeling like you need a mental break here, message 1. You need to find a way to get out of your head. You probably are rather stuck in some sort of fear, worry, anxiety. This could have to do with a lot of different things, but your message so far as the main overarching energy showing up for you this week is there's going to be space created for you to release this energy and to get more sorted, centered, and grounded again. And it starts with you making yourself a priority, self-care. What do you need to feel better? What do you need to do, release, let go of in order to find your center again? So this is the opportunity for you this week. All right, I'm going to pull some more cards here for you guys. Yeah, it's sort of that energy of, you've probably been really busy as well, doing a lot of other things, maybe even for other people. And it could catch up with us, right? It can catch up with us. It can make us feel really depleted. It can even cause us, to get sick if we're not careful. I'm not saying that's the case for my message 1 choosers, but I do get a feeling that that could be the case for some of you. Like the potential for that. All the more reason to say, I matter too. I'm going to make me a priority. What do I need? All right. Woman holding a heart in the reverse. I almost wonder too if some of you received some heart information, and I'm noticing the number 44 there. Ooh, hostilities in the challenge position, which is absolutely a challenge. Yeah, you've been going through it, message 1. You've been through hardship. A lot of mental activity, a lot of the happenings and events where there was conflict, hostility, tensions running high, and you're probably trying to come down from that, or at least at the very minimum, this is your week to come down from that, to release it, to let go, to move forward and sort yourself out again. Ooh, love this. Door to personal healing and happiness. Yeah, definitely this is on the table for you guys this week. It's sort of like you can finally breathe out. You can finally take that breath and that much needed break and rest from all the turbulence that you've had to deal with. Oh, Angel of Strength in reverse. Okay. Yeah, I think you're feeling really depleted, and there's a huge heads up here that this energy will linger and carry on if we're not careful. Now, with woman holding a heart in the reverse, something in your heart space is shut down, or maybe the wisdom of your heart is not being heard. I also think that maybe some of you have been dealing with heartbreak, and it's hard to find your way back to that sort of inner strength again to get yourself sorted. If you need to have a good cry, go have a good cry. If you need to feel your feelings in order to really release them and make that self-care your priority this week, do that, because it's massively being highlighted for you here. What I do like about hostilities being the challenge position, which sounds very strange for me to say, is that it's suggesting that this is not as much of a challenge as it was, that you really are coming down from this energy. We just have to make our mental, emotional, and energetic bodies catch up to that, like actually recognize that. All the more reason to give yourself over to the self-care energy. Angel of Strength in reverse. Yeah, I definitely feel like you're going to regain your strength, right? Because if it's upright like this, it's telling us, where do we need more strength? Where do we need to fortify ourselves? But it's reversed, suggesting you're going to find your way to this. You're going to recalibrate, gather your strength again. But it really does start with you making you a priority. What do you need? What do you need to move on from? What do you need to let go of? That energy of all the hard things is coming to an end. You really are able to move on from it this week. Breathe out, relax your energies. And I feel like I keep thinking of the word preparation. And it feels like in preparation for a new start somewhere with something, maybe even with someone. I do think some of you have been dealing with some heartbreak. So you have this as your main piece of advice, guidance, spirit, giving you a heads up that there is this offering on the table for you to find your way to personal happiness and healing. I just want to say, I think for some of you, there's a tough choice that has to be made as well. And that is probably the cause of some of your anxiety or overthinking. The more you can give yourself over to getting sorted and centered and making sure that you feel really good by mind, body, soul, the more likely you are to come to a good decision around this, a clarity that comes from the heart. Just a little heads up, just a little aside note I feel for some of you. But I do see you gathering strength again, finding your way back to your center. I also think some of you might have just needed to hear that, yeah, the hard thing that you've been going through, the difficulty, the frustrations, the conflict is coming to an end, and you really are going to be moving on from that this week. It's going to start to ease. Don't settle for less. You're a child of the divine, and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. Yeah. But in order for us to get back into the strength of resiliency and feeling like, okay, I'm ready to get up and give it the good old college try again, we need to be feeling good. We really do. We need to have our energy uplifted. We need to be centered. We need to find a way out of our head. We need to connect to those emotions that need to go and be released. Sometimes that's by feeling them. Sometimes that's by acknowledging them and saying, okay, I'm done with you. Either way, do not let this situation or whatever has happened or transpired stop you from going after what you want, for what you deserve. Do not settle for less than what you deserve. Yeah, you are a child of the divine, and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. You have a chance to recalibrate and reset after difficulty this week. And I feel like this is that energy of it's preparing you for that reset, that preparation energy that won't shake, that I can't seem to shake off for you guys. That's the call. That's the call for you guys this week. That's the invitation essentially. And I really do see it leading you to this energy of door to personal healing and happiness, feeling much lighter, ready to go, sorted out again. Sort of like you've been able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go at it again. Look at on the bottom, guys. It says, this is a blessing in disguise. Be patient and have faith that your angels have the situation under control. What will come is far better than you dared to dream. Yeah, there's disappointment here, heartbreak, frustration, completely understandable, but this is coming to an end. You're going to be able to move on from this energy. And your big message here is, one of the most productive things you can do for yourself this week is make self-care a priority and get yourself centered and sorted again so that you can prepare for this door that's about to open up for you where things are going to get better. And to remember that if something didn't work out for you, it was because it wasn't meant for you and there really is something better. As that card on the bottom said, this is a blessing in disguise. This too shall pass. All right, I am going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful, relaxing, and restful week. Take care, guys. Hello, message 2. Okay, let's have a look and see what do my beautiful message 2 choosers need to know. What is showing up for message 2 this week? Okay, well, 2 cards. All right, we're going to go with that. That's crazy. All right. The first one is the Sun in reverse, and then we've got Death. All right. Okay, so something needs to be ended, needs to be severed from. It's sort of like that cancel, clear, delete, cut, and sever energy in order to see the light, in order to have a new start, in order to see your ships coming in some way, shape, or form. So you're going to be invited to look at what is that thing that I'm holding on to? What am I clinging to? Where am I not allowing something to die that needs to be let go of in order for me to get this Sun card in the upright position? It could also just, on a very realistic and practical level, be giving you a bit of a heads up that there could be some difficulties showing up for you this week. That's going to cause some frustration or maybe delays of some kind. But let's see what else comes out with that. That new moon in Scorpio energy that happened this week. I know we're starting into a new week now, but it's been a heavy one. Emotional, turbulent, a little bit charged with aggressiveness, I would say. I wonder if any of you have had that experience with this new moon that we're just coming down from. It's been a tricky one, and I feel like the energy is lingering for a lot of us this week. Nice. Okay, Joy, make time for the little things today. Yeah, so I feel like this is something that's very much missing for a lot of my message 2 choosers. You're just not feeling that. There's been frustration, heaviness. There's something that's keeping things in your life stagnant or stuck. It's about looking at what do I really need to release and let go of? What is stagnating? What am I clinging to and why? Because maybe, just maybe, if I believe that I actually start working on releasing this, letting go, and trying a new way forward, that sun will feel like it's shining on me again. But making time for the little things today. Yeah. What makes you happy? What lights you up? It doesn't matter how small it is. Give yourself over to that this week, because it has anything to do with joy, happiness, fun, silliness really does up-level our energy in massive ways. And it makes us more connected to what is true and what's possible, to divine wisdom and truth as well. We undervalue it so much, the little things that make us happy. All right. So 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel in reverse. So that's the throat chakra. Something needing to be expressed, spoken. Strategy in the challenge position. Okay. Walking away. Okay. That's what we're talking about. Something needs to be cut, and severed. Something needs to be closed down, released, over, ended. Walking away, but we're having a hard time with it. Ooh, nice. Okay, financial constraints, which sounds silly for me to say, ooh, nice, but it's in the reverse. So there's some sort of new opportunity coming your way where you're going to have that sun energy be upright, sun shining on you, feeling like you're going in the right direction, making good choices, but we're lacking strategy here to help up level our finances. So this reading is feeling like for you guys, you've been probably really stressed out and frustrated when it comes to the health of your financial life, maybe something to do with your career. Maybe there's even an entrepreneurial spirit here for some of you, but where might we need to be speaking more, expressing ourselves, asking for what we want, allowing our throat chakra to come into balance and creating a strategy around this, right? And it starts with that, like, you've got to infuse joy and happiness into everything that you're doing or trying to create, right? Because when we're missing that aspect, we're not creating from that heart space or soul space. We're creating from almost like urgency and anxiety, like I've got to make this happen because I have to have this money. But there is something that's blocking this from happening. What are we clinging on to? What are we not walking away from? I feel like there's definitely fear connected to this, but you're being asked to look at that. There is definitely something that needs to be ended, put to bed, done, so that you can move forward, create a stronger foundation and a better strategy around something that you're trying to do or build, where you will no longer be feeling this financial pinch. And because this is a weekly and we've got financial constraints in the reverse, I even think some of you might experience an opportunity this week to up level your finances or see a way forward to create more of it to come in for you. But there's this energy of too serious. I feel for some of my message twos, like entirely too serious right now, too much in the logical, analytical mind. And it's really blocking that lightheartedness that, again, it up levels our energy and frequency so much that it really does bring to us to higher mind, intuition, universal wisdom, but just, our trusting our own gut instincts and understanding that if we're brought to it, we're going to be brought through it and we'll figure things out. I just feel a lot of stress here for some of my message twos. But this is coming to an end. There's going to be offerings and opportunities to get out of that financial pinch and strain that you might be feeling. But again, with this Archangel Michael, right? When he's in the Gabriel, when he's in the reverse, it can mean a couple things, right? Because if he's like this, it might be a suggestion that we need to be expressing ourselves more. And I just had this thought and epiphany when I was looking at this card. Maybe some of you are talking so much that there's no space to be listening and hearing what spirit has to say, or something that wants to come through for you that will help your situation move forward, where that sun is finally shining on you, or that's going to give you advice around strategy. So that's another little piece to this puzzle, I think, for my message twos. Do you find that you've been doing a lot of talking and expressing, that maybe you need to get quiet, sort yourself out, and receive some answers, wisdom, connection to your gut instincts? Or is it the reverse? You need to be speaking out more, and then you can feel more confident in creating that strategy that you need to walk away from something, to finally end something off. And I keep thinking like, finally, let that thing go. It could even be an idea for you guys. And sometimes that's really hard because we had our heart set on something, but there's this bigger overarching energy, I feel, of re-strategizing, because that's in the challenge position, suggesting there's work that needs to be done here. And if you do that with a sense of joy and fun, like this can be fun, I get a chance to redo, and I really am going to let this idea go now. It just feels like it opens up the gateways in a very massive way for you to walk away from difficulty this week and bringing in abundance of some sort. Let it go. Look at this. This is like the garden and the gate card, right? So it's like walking away. We need to walk away, but we're afraid to. We have that death card. What needs to be ended? And now we've got let it go. This is a very strong message for you guys. Give yourself some time, beginning of this week, to sit with yourself, to listen to spirit, to ask if you're not sure, what am I clinging to that's not helping me, not serving me, and keeping me feeling financially pinched and drained and joyless, almost like going into hopelessness. What do I need to shift and change? I'm just going to be open to it so that I can finally feel that energy of things starting to move in a good direction for me. This situation no longer serves you. Allow me to sever your energetic connections to the past so you can embrace the future. Yeah, something new wants to be shipped your way. I think some of you might even receive epiphanies, answers, especially if you give yourself over to some meditation and journaling that's going to come through that you should absolutely write down, but there needs to be space created for that. Yeah, let it go. It's time to move forward. You are definitely being called to make a big shift and change. And this week's going to provide the most optimal opportunities to do that, I feel, for you guys. And on the bottom of that it's your loved ones are safe. Let go of your fear and worry for your loved ones. I am looking after them. So maybe some of you have your energy tied up and bogged down into, if I choose this for me, what does that mean for the people I love and care for? Maybe I'm not being fair. Maybe I'm being selfish. I don't think that's the case at all. But this is just probably another little piece of the puzzle and the fear that keeps you clung to a situation that you've outgrown where there's something better, where finances come in more abundantly. Yeah, just as a little aside note there for you guys. All right, message 2. I'm going to leave that there. I'm wishing and hoping for all of you to have the most amazing, beautiful week filled with lots of joy. Take care, guys. Hello, message 3. All right, let's have a look and see, what do my beautiful message 3 choosers need to know going into this week? What's showing up for my message 3 choosers? Ooh. Okay, how many cards is that? 2. We can take 2. That's fine. And it's like this. We've got 1 upright and 1 in reverse. So King of Cups, upright. So feeling emotionally empowered and centered. Like we know we've got this, and we very much are connected to what's true for us, to what our intuition is telling us, kind of like the master of our emotions. But we have that next to a Queen card, which is really interesting. Some of you might be dealing with some discrepancy in your relationship or not seeing eye to eye, because we've got the King and Queen. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse, feeling like there just isn't enough. There's not enough financial stability around you right now. There could be some fear when it comes to money, feeling like that might be what's missing, and that intuitive energy that you need to connect to what to do to up-level a financial situation has been missing. Or it could just be speaking to some difficulties in connection, where there's an emotional component that's creating a lot of dissonance around money and finances, where one of you is feeling very emotionally self-assured and the other is feeling very financially insecure. But we're going to have to look at some more cards to see what else shows up with this, right? Because it's general, it's going to be different for everyone. But there's a emotional empowerment here connected to finances, but the energy of if is there with it. If what? If we connect to opportunities, if we adapt a little bit to our situation, if we open up our minds, if we put some structure in, it could be a lot of different things. All right. Okay, forgiveness. A crushed flower still gives off a sweet scent. I do think that there's some problems here in a partnership of some sort, right? Because we've got the King upright, feeling emotionally strengthened, and then we've got the Queen in reverse, financially pinched, or feeling like something about the stability and structure of the connection or whatever's going on in your family life is off. So that King of Cups could also be speaking to there's opportunity to get emotionally sorted and centered again and embody together that King of Cups energy of feeling good about things, sorted out, having the hard conversation. But as this says, a crushed flower still gives off a sweet scent. Forgiveness being an opportunity and an offering for you this week to sort this kind of energy out. And, I will say too, this does not have to be with a romantic partner. This could be in a work situation as well, or even with a friend. Feeling like don't overshuffle, so I will not do that. All tied up in the reverse. That's a good card to see in the reverse, actually. Okay, appreciation in the reverse and in the challenge position. So yeah, not seeing the positivity in something that has been difficult because we're having a hard time with forgiveness. We might be holding on to anger and resentment and forgetting the good right now, which makes a lot of sense when we're going through turbulence or we're in an energy where we need to forgive somebody. It's hard to appreciate the positive or the good things, and then we tend to lose sight of that, right? Because we're angry, which is completely understandable. But with all tied up being in the reverse, where you have felt this energy, this disconnect, frustration, hurt, pain, the opportunity to get out of it is showing up for you strongly this week, and to embody that more centered emotionally, King of Cups energy. Yeah. There it is, carrying connections in reverse. So for some of you, this could also be a heads up to not let something that shows up for you in your partnerships, to not let any difficulty that might show up, something that you weren't expecting, especially if it's connected to something financial or like money going out or frustration around that, to not let it throw everything off so much that now not only are you dealing with something difficult that you weren't expecting, but now you're also fighting or arguing with your partner about it, right? Because we've got carrying connections in the reverse, suggesting that this could be coming and hasn't showed up just yet for you. And this would be your heads up that it doesn't have to be as difficult. We can choose to love and appreciate, see the good, move into forgiveness. And that way we sort out and figure out our situation faster. What do they say? Many hands make quick work. Same with hearts. Ooh, attachment. Okay, and it's in the reverse. I actually think that's a good card to be seeing in the reverse. Where do we need to detach? And it looks like you're going to do it, right? Because it's in the outcome position. So where we have been holding on and struggling, we really do have the opportunity to detach from that this week, to get sorted, to see the truth around a situation, and body empowered, emotionally positive, connected energy, like we're very centered in it, and not let whatever's happening around us knock us off our axis so far that now we've created another issue on top of an unexpected one that I think some of you are already dealing with or are getting a heads up that could be coming your way, and to not let it get you all tied up, right? To choose appreciation, to choose love, to choose being able to figure it out and move through that energy and get to the other side much quicker. Hopefully I'm making sense. But yeah, this is the big area of a big energy showing up for you guys this week. And there's so much opportunity to heal it or to receive it and not let it throw everything off, not let it bowl you over, right? Communication keeps coming to my mind too, like really good communication, speaking from the heart. And I was saying this in one of my other tarot videos that I did, I think it was a love tarot reading, that listening to try to understand a person rather than to just react to what they're saying or to defend is the best way to find solutions. And that, instead of burning a bridge, we're creating one where we can meet in the middle and figure it out. It's like that. Okay. Ooh, nice. Embrace this magical moment. You're in the perfect energetic space for manifesting miracles. Allow your wishes to be fulfilled. I love that. It's sort of like if we can really be mindful of our thoughts and our feelings and not let them run us over or take hold so much that we lose sight of the truth and what's most important, you offer this in. So it's like that new opportunity because we're detaching from one way of being, something that was difficult. We're leaning into that forgiveness energy. We're coming out of being all tied up. Things start to open up for us. And it definitely feels like that for you and your partner. Again, whether romantic or otherwise, I do think for a lot of you it will be romantic, but this could just be with somebody who you have a very close tie with, where things have been difficult. We're forgetting the good things about them. It's time to heal this out and move forward, because it's bringing in this magical energy, right? For manifesting miracles, allow your wishes to be filled. Yeah, it's like get out of your own way. And because this attachment energy in the outcome is in reverse, I feel like you will. I feel like you'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I am done with this. I am going to get out of my own way and just have faith, hope, and trust and see what happens. And I feel like that's the best thing you could do. This was on the bottom here. It says your prayers are being answered. Your prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you didn't expect. Okay, a little bit of another little heads up there with this attachment in reverse. Releasing expectation. Expectation is such a mood killer. It's a vibe killer. I say that all the time. So I think there's something to that for some of you, releasing expectation. Whatever will be, will be. I'm going to flow with it, and I'm going to trust that was the best way for it to show up for me. So not being too rigid about how your prayers will be answered, just knowing that they will. Again, your prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you didn't expect. You've got some miraculous and miracle type energy being shipped your way. Message 3. You just got to trust and believe that and be okay with it not looking exactly as you thought. It still feels opportunistic for you guys. But yeah, the opportunity to get out of this heavier, harder energy is showing up for you this week. And it really does start with that forgiveness and appreciation energy, because I feel like what that releases brings in so much opportunity and good, positive, I want to say healthy, healing energy as well. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week. Take care, guys. Hello, message 4. All right, let's have a look and see, what do my beautiful message for choosers need to know this week? What is showing up for message 4? All right. Ooh, 4 of Cups. Okay. Okay. So a bit of a heads up energy I'm feeling for you guys. It's funny because it's the 4 of Cups and your message 4. So I think 4s could be important for you in some kind of way. So just a little aside note there. There's some sort of offering, emotional opportunity to feel good. It's connected to the heart. So this is not so much of a physical thing, but definitely like something that could be emotionally fulfilling for you in some kind of way, but you may struggle to see it. I almost think too, like, this could show up as guidance for some of you, that could really lead somewhere where you're feeling quite good and centered and like really connected to the heart and the soul, but you may miss it, especially if you're in heaviness, or have been dealing with any kind of emotional upheaval of sorts. So be mindful to be open to opportunities that are very much connected to how you could feel or want to feel. This could be in love. This could show up and manifest in so many different ways, but definitely connected to the heart and emotions. Okay. This came out in message number 3, and it says forgiveness. A crushed flower still gives off a sweet scent. That makes some sense. Opportunity for emotional recalibration this week to get yourself sorted, for healing, for forgiveness energy. But I am feeling a little bit of stubbornness here for some of you, where that might be difficult for you to want to lean into that kind of energy. But there's a healing here. And on the bottom says joy. Make time for the little things today. Yeah, you need to lighten our heart space. This is, I mentioned it in one of the messages, but it's been a tough week with that new moon in Scorpio. It's an emotional, watery energy. It's brought about a lot of potentially combative and hard emotional energy. And I feel like a lot of that is showing up here in this weekly, like, okay, now we need to come off of that heavy emotional energy. And you're no exception here, message 4. Like, it's been a minute. It's been difficult. There's definitely an opportunity for healing and emotional well-being showing up for you guys this week. Oop, all right. There we go. Oh, Goddess of the Moon. Yeah, we're feeling disconnected from our soul self, from our intuition, right? We've got that cup energy there. Making space for that kind of connection. Something wants to come through, because when the Goddess of the Moon shows up, she's saying, hey, the universe is like, we've got some wisdom for you. We've got some guidance. We want to show you the way to something. We want to show you how you can even embody this forgiveness energy. And what's maybe even really troubling you underneath the surface of all of this situation that you might have been dealing with, but we can't get it to you, right? Space needing to be created to connect in. Yeah. So adjacent possibilities in the reverse. You have been given some sort of guidance and advice, or will be, about other possibilities for you, right? Where we're not having tunnel vision, where we're seeing that there's many opportunities for something to happen, for something to shift, for a healing, for a new direction of some sort, but we're not seeing it because this is in the challenge position. But because it's reversed and in the challenge position, I think that there has been some sort of offering around this for some of you, but you've missed it. All the more reason to go back into this Goddess of the Moon energy. The main piece of advice here for you guys, that we need to draw down the moon. We need to make space to connect our intuition into our heart, to understand where we need to maybe lighten our emotional body, where we might need to lean into forgiveness for us, never for other people, but for us. So we don't carry that heaviness with us, so that we can start connecting to new things and new possibilities, new ideas. Woman holding her heart. Yeah. Heartbreak. Some of you have really had your heart broken, been very disappointed, emotionally kind of all over the place. And there's fours energy too, right? We're like your message four. We've got the Four of Cups and now we've got 44. So pay attention to fours. I think they're going to be acting as signposts for you. Woman holding her heart. Yeah. Something about bringing your heart back online again, allowing it to be open, especially by way of connections. And it doesn't have to be romantic, though I do think it might be for some of you. Bringing it to out to situations in a way that is vulnerable, where you feel safe to be that and embody that. But I do think something's happened that was really emotionally hard and heavy, where there's a will, there's a way through the pain, the heartache. Because I feel like there's new opportunities, right? Especially with that fourth cup being offered to you. It could even be that some of you who are single might have an opportunity to meet a new person where there's love, but because we haven't forgiven the past and the pain of it, we might miss these people coming our way or say no to them. Community. Okay, yeah, not feeling so alone. Again, that energy of putting your heart back out there again, not overprotecting it, allowing yourself to forgive those that have hurt you in the past, pains from the past, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to feel peace. You deserve to start reconnecting to your heart and soul again. And by leaning into that forgiving energy, that's what you invite in. Community. Positive connection, being open and honest and vulnerable with people, allowing yourself to be seen and making beautiful connections. I think that this is twofold. I think some of you have the opportunity to connect to like-minded people who are going to feel very like a kindred spirit, very soul connected. And I think others, there's a romantic possibility here as well. But we need to intuitively understand where we're resisting emotional offerings for connection, and how it connects to forgiveness, which is a big ask for just a weekly, but I definitely see that here for you guys. So giving yourself over to this, what am I holding on to? What am I emotionally, how am I, should I say, emotionally overprotecting my heart for fear that, or from any potential hurt or pain that could come my way? Because there's opportunity for community and connection that wants to show up for you. But yeah, I feel like we've walled ourselves off. We've missed these, like we haven't allowed ourselves to see these other possibilities. We're so much, very much still in the pain of what's been. And I just want to say, message for this is not judgment. I completely understand that, but there is no honor or joy in an invisible life. And there's no growth there either. And I think that some of you need to trust that you've learned lessons from things that have happened in the past, where maybe friends or lovers have hurt you. You are wiser because of it. I feel like those things were meant to up-level you and strengthen you, not shut you down. And you have massive opportunity to reconnect to the truth of that energy this week, right? By saying yes to this emotional invitation, offering connection that could be coming your way, or connections by way of community. But it does require you to show up with an open heart again, be somewhat vulnerable with others. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. That's what I just said. Open your heart. No one is perfect. Stop judging yourself and others, and let love heal the situation. Yeah. Yeah, that forgiveness, right? So this could even be an opportunity to reconnect and heal problems that you've had with people that you're still connected to now, or even to just make peace with a lover or a healing with a lover. It could be so many things, right? Because this is general. But yeah, open your heart. No one is perfect. Stop judging yourself and others, and let love heal the situation. Absolutely, yes. Right? It frees you up so much for more good things. We release that kind of heaviness. Think of it as like a black cloud wrapped around your heart, keeping everything safely tucked away. It feels like it's safely tucked away, but really all it does is lower our energy and make us feel disconnected. And you don't want that message for. On the bottom, we have Archangel Michael is with you. Even though you can't see it, I am actively working on the situation. I am here and I'm helping you. I love that. So maybe call in his strength, because that definitely is an energy that you could utilize at this time. Call in Archangel Michael to let himself be known and to level up your strength and confidence within yourself, to be able to be vulnerable and open your heart again. Yeah. And as it says, even though you can't see it, you're being helped. I love that for you guys. It definitely feels like that too. All right. I think I shall leave that there for my message force. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week, and just keep your mind open ever so slightly to the possibility of some emotional fulfillment and beauty coming your way. All right, guys, take care.